But is that really what we have with the Bible? David Cross and Joe Rogan would say so. But if you look at the history of the Bible, what you find is that there were multiple authors writing at multiple times, in multiple locations, to multiple audiences who themselves were in multiple different locations. So it's not a single line of transmission, it's multiple lines of transmission injected with steroids. Why? Because not only do you have the original authors writing at different times to different places, to different people in different locations, but then you have scribes who are likewise copying in different locations, writing to different audiences at different times who are themselves in different locations. And if we look at the history of this, between the 1st century, when the New Testament was written, and the 4th century, you have copies of both the Old and the New Testaments being copied and spread around all over the ancient world, so that by the time you get to the 4th century, you have hundreds, if not a few thousand, copies of what we would call the books of the Bible. They were independent at that time. They eventually got stuck into one volume, like we think of a Bible today. But copies of the Gospels, of the Acts, of the Psalms, of the prophets, floating around the ancient world. So that within a few decades and centuries, you have copies up into Europe, into Asia, and into North Africa. Which means that no one person or no one group could have controlled the text at any one point in time. Why? Because if what David Cross said was correct, if you had popes and you had kings and you had scribes who wanted to insert things into the Bible, and they're in Turkey, what are they going to do with all the copies that are in North Africa? What are they going to do with all the copies that are into Central Europe? Well, they'd have to track them down and also alter them. But that would have been impossible. And so because of the history of the Bible, what's called the transmission, no one group or one person could have controlled the text at any one point in time.